So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some ketchup, and I want to put about 3/4 to a full cup of ketchup in this, okay? And I've actually got a bunch of ketchup, so I don't mind getting rid of some of this stuff. This is some yellow mustard. I'm going to put about a tablespoon. This is dark molasses, and I'm putting about a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons. And we're going to end up putting some Worcestershire sauce inside here. How much? Ooh, how's that? Maybe a teaspoon and a half. And now we are going to be putting in some tomato paste, and I'm going to be putting about a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons. Now some people will put some soy sauce. If you want to put soy sauce, you can. Okay, I'm not a big soy sauce kind of guy, but you can do it. Another thing that some people will put in, and I'm just going to put in a little bit to show you can do it, is honey. Okay, and this is mesquite honey. This is from the Arizona desert. Remember the onion? Well, we're going to do it again. We're going to put about a teaspoon, so like 2 teaspoons. I should have just said 2 teaspoons instead of counting it like that. And that is something you can add as much as you want or as little as you want. Garlic powder. This is kind of clumpy. I'm going to put a teaspoon chili powder. One and a half tablespoons. You can always add more. All this stuff you can add more depending on what you want it to taste like. You can also add herbs and stuff like that if you want to. Paprika, same thing. I'm going to be putting in 2 teaspoons. Paprika, black pepper, about a teaspoon and a half of black pepper, 3/4 of a teaspoon kosher salt, a little bit of cayenne pepper. Just give it a little heat. Don't have to put it in there. Brown sugar. Three-quarters of a cup. And then you can adjust that according to your liking, but just remember ketchup has sugar in it and stuff like that. 1/4 of a cup of the vinegar of your choice. But I used cane vinegar, okay, which comes from sugar cane. And if you want to, you can even add a little bit more, just like that. Gives it that sweet and tangy and spicy. Now if you want to, you can put things in here like orange juice and other types of things, pineapple, you know, it's up to you, okay? But essentially what we want to do is mix this up real well, and then we have to put this on the stove because we need to cook this for quite a while. And we want this to lose some of its moisture. We want the flavors to homogenize. We want that garlic chunk and stuff like that to break down. We also want these sugars and things to not be so, well, grainy, and cooking it will take care of that. That's pretty good the way that it is. I think after it cooks for a while, it'll taste better. But right now, I'm going to leave it this way, and I'm going to put it on a very low flame, and I'm going to cook it for probably a good hour. Okay, so right now I have this on a medium-low heat, and I want to bring this up to temperature. Another thing that we can do, if you want, you can add a little bit of water to this, thin it out, because we're going to be getting rid of some of that water anyway. And as you can see, even though this has not really come to temperature, the side of it over here is already starting to basically kind of boil, even though the rest of it isn't even really hot. And this is one of the reasons why you have to kind of keep stirring it. Okay, so it's only been about 15 minutes, but I tasted it and I knew that there was a few things I needed to put in for it to match my taste. First thing is I noticed that the cayenne pepper might be a little hot for some people. So only put half of what I originally told you, and then if you taste it, if it's not hot enough, throw some more in. But at least this is a safe bet, just doing half. I put a little bit more onion powder in. I put a little bit more garlic powder. When I'm saying a little, 1/4 of a teaspoon. I added apple cider vinegar, and I probably put about a 1/4 of a cup in there, and that really boosted things quite a bit. I also added about another tablespoon of molasses, and then a 1/4 of a cup of water, just to kind of thin things up a little bit. So it's been about 30 minutes, And what I had done is I thought I should add a little bit more tomato paste to this, as well as a little bit more molasses. And then that's what did the trick, okay? And this is thickened up, pretty good amount. And if I leave it on here for another 15-20 minutes, it'll become even thicker. But generally what I'll do is I'll look at the back of the spoon. And if it sticks to the back of the spoon like that, it's going to stick to whatever meat you put it on, right? So this is actually thick enough. Another thing that you can do is the back, just run your finger over it like that. That will tell you. That's really hot. That right there is a good stick. Okay. The longer you leave it in here, the thicker it'll become, the more concentrated it'll become. Okay. But this right here is good as far as I'm concerned. I like the color of it. I like the consistency. The flavor of it's good. The flavor of it, as I mentioned before, it's got a little bit of spice to it. And I think for the most people, they would sit there and say, the spice is just a hair, just a hint more than I would really prefer it to be. So that's how you make homemade barbecue sauce. Anyway guys, that is that. If you like this video, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and check out my other videos. Got lots more. Until next time, talk to you later. So it's been a couple of hours, and so I went ahead and I put some of the wet sauce on there. And at this point, if you wanted to add, more smoke, you could add some more smoke to it, just to give it more of a smoky flavor. I'm going to end up giving this another hour, maybe, of setting inside the smoker here at that low temp, and then I think in about an hour or so, these are actually going to be done. They'll be good to go. Now just look at these mothers. Now them is what I like to call BBQ ribs. That's some good looking ribs right there. But look how fat those ribs are. I'm telling you, there's a lot of meat on these dudes right here. This homemade barbecue sauce, I'm telling you, pretty awesome. Look at that, how it just sticks like that. Woo-wee! Got some spice too. You know what would be really good? Is if I would have put some bourbon in that. Maybe next time around